the first of 3 short videos designed to help you as a new entering student into Aero understand and work with the AAE plan of study system. The first video is basically an overview. The second one is an example of a student who is right on track, as it were, and nothing unusual. And the third one is a somewhat more complicated case of a person with lots of transfer credit and AP credit and whatnot. Okay, so the first thing, of course, is how do you get to it? And from the Aero homepage, you go to Academics up at the top, Undergrad Program. There we go. Plan of study, third item down on the left. My plan of study. Now, there are other things here that are important. The plan of study instructions is basically all the rules laid out that govern what's in the plan of study. Okay, so click on My Plan of Study. And as long as, well, you got to log in with your career account. Now, what you're going to see here is not exactly what you'll see on your account, because I'm an advisor and I see things and can do things that you can't do. And I'll point out the differences. They're not too many. Okay. Aero and Astro. Okay, now you'll see the first thing here on the left, there's something called admin options, administrative options. Well, you wouldn't see those because you're not an admin for this. The other thing is that as an advisor, I see all the students, and you'll only see you. Now, I'm going to pull up a fake student because I don't want to be revealing anybody's records. There are 2 fake students, Rowdy Purdue and Randy Purdue. And I'll pull up Rowdy first. So when you first come in, this is what you see. And I'll talk more about this in the second video. But this is the plan of study, basically. And I'm going to ignore it for now. Except that you should look in the comments section, and that's the standard comment that goes to all entering students. And the first thing it does is say, answer the FERPA question. Well, that's over here on the left. This is a little bit of federal law, basically, or us trying to cope with federal law. And you just say yes or no, and you can change your answer at any time. It just keeps a record of what you will allow us to do with your academic information internally. Federal law constrains what we can do with it externally. Okay, the only other thing I'll point out here is in student info, the student info tab, there's a bunch of information that some of which you can change, some of which you can't. You can't change your name or your ID number or anything like that. You can't change when you start. Right now it's set to fall 13 for this fake student. That is entirely about when you officially are enrolled in Aero. The last semester registered is basically to keep track of people who've been out of school, so I can easily tell how long they've been out of school. You can certainly change your expected graduation date. And of course, right now it's 3 years away, and it was just estimated to be that. And you can change that to anything you want, either earlier or later. After you're officially in Arrow, the home department will change from what it says here to just AAE. The PIN number is what you'll need for registration. It changes every semester. But in the spring semester, the PIN number that you get is good for both fall and summer. And after, when the fall rolls around a few weeks into it, you won't be able to use your PIN anymore, and it gets deleted. Shortly after that, it gets loaded up with a new one. You can only see the PIN number if the plan of study is approved, and of course only if it's available. Approval is the status of your plan of study, and I'll point that out in a little bit. Okay, the rest of this stuff you don't have to worry about now. There's plenty of time to worry about it later. The only other item in this sidebar menu that I'll point out, future plans. By the time you get to the junior year, I'll ask you to fill that in. By that point, I would assume that you have an idea of what you want to do after you graduate. Documents and files is a place where you put documents and files, things like resumes or course descriptions of courses taken elsewhere that you want to use in the plan of study, things like that. Okay, so let's go back to the plan of study, and I'll just talk about the large-scale features of it, not the particulars of this sample student. Okay, up at the top it says current status, changes requested. Now, why is it changes requested? Because in the last comment, which was also the first comment, it asked you to do some things. So I'm waiting for a response. If you respond to these things and do those three things, and your plan is okay, I will mark it as approved. Over here in this next button, which for you would not say approve or request changes. For you, it would say submit to advisor. That's where you put in your comment. And you see down here, I have three ways of responding: approve, approved for graduation. That wouldn't apply to you yet, but when you're in your last semester and ready to graduate, I would mark it that way. And request changes. Okay, so those are the three options. And it's based on my response to your input. Okay, the other thing up at the top next to current status is who last changed something. And in this example, I last changed it on Saturday. So when you submit your plan of study, the status will remain changed. No, the status will actually change to submitted, and the last updated by will change to you and whenever you submitted it. You have to be careful. Sometimes people submit and then do something to change it, and then the status changes from submitted to modified. And don't do that, because I'll never look at it, and you'll never get approved. You can certainly change it after you submit, but then you've got to submit again. So pay attention to the status. People sometimes let it sit there for weeks, thinking they've submitted it when they haven't, or thinking it's approved when it's not, because they modified it. Okay, so let's go back to the plan of study. There are actually three templates here, three matrices if you want. The first one, the big one, attempts to capture all the requirements in the Aero program, and they're laid out in 8 nominal semesters. These are not your semesters. You can. It's just a suggested order of things, and hardly anybody goes by in exactly that order. But the closer you stay to that order, the better, with some exceptions. Now, I can't capture all the rules in that one template. The courses in the right column over here are general education courses, and they have to satisfy some distribution rules. At least right now they do in a year for students entering this Aero in the fall of 14. The rules will change. But right now they are what they are, and to capture those rules, distribution rules on the Gen Eds, they have a second template called the Gen Ed Rules template. If you want to read the rules, they're displayed right here under description. Just hover the mouse over that description, and those are the rules. And basically there's 4 of them, and I should really think of each column of this as being a separate template. In the end, you'll have to fill in all the columns except the foreign languages column, which, if you read it, either you put nothing in there or you put 2 courses in there. You have to go to at least the 102 level in a language to use it as a Gen Ed. Okay, so that's the Gen Eds. And those rules are not Aero specific, that's College of Engineering specific. The last required template is called Other Rules. These are Aero specific rules, writing and speaking and business. And if you click on the cell, and this is pretty much true for all the cells and all of these things, it tells you what the rule is, and it gives you some examples of courses that people have taken to satisfy that rule. All of these courses can also be Gen Eds. The business rule can be satisfied in a number of different ways too. Econ, management, entrepreneurship, i.e. 343 is engineering economics. Now, where these fit depends on which you take. Econ is the only one of these subjects that is actually defined as a Gen Ed. The others can fill a technical elective box. Having said that, let me go back and show you the technical elective boxes. We put them at the end in the last 2 rows, not because you have to wait until the senior year to take them. They can be taken at any time, depending on what the prerequisites are. So sometimes people, even as entering sophomores, may want to take a technical elective. And that's fine. So if you, okay, I'm verging on talking about Rowdy Purdue, and I wanted to save that for a second video. So I figure 15 minutes is about the most anybody wants to listen, and I'm coming up on that deadline. I'll point out one more thing about the structure here. Sometimes people want to do outside minors like history or math or French. If you want to do that, go down to the bottom, click Add a Minor, and you'll see an extensive list of templates that you can click on and select. If you do select one and decide you don't want to do it, you can't delete it. You just ask me and I'll delete it. And that's just the way the system was built, primarily to prevent people from accidentally deleting it after it's already filled out. Okay, I think that's enough for now. In the second video, I'll talk specifically about Rowdy and the whys and wherefores of what he might choose to do for his first semester in Arrow. Okay.